without the steps of growth that we took, we would not be able to be the video provider or have access to the amount of bandwidth we have and be able to provide these new services and technologies that our customers demand.
We're unique because we're extremely small but still able to be on the front edge of technology.
There's things that we want to do, and I think we've always had a vision, how do we go do them? And that's been the progress of Rainbow through the years. Really, if you look back all the way through the 60 years, it's been that march to progress.
In 1953, the first annual meeting of Rainbow Telephone Cooperative Association was held. Between 1953 and 1968, the exchanges of Everest, Robinson, Huron, Denton, Severance, Leona, Bendina, Whiting, Muscoda, and Willis were purchased and cut to dial service.
The original 4 exchanges were aerial wire all out through the country.
Some was even on fence lines. They were hard to keep up.
And I came through and caught one of those telephone wires. When I got over to the shop on the east side of Willis, I had all the telephone wire that Willis had right behind me, I think. And Greg had to go put it all back up. And I thought he'd probably kill me, and he was just nice as could be.
And when we started putting in a lot of underground lines, cable, that's what was a big change.
Willis was just coming in then. There was actually 7 exchanges when I first started. But Willis was in the making, and it cut in I think 1968.
And then it kind of branched out from there to what it is today, gradually.
In 1974 and 75, that's when we reburied everything. Everything went one party. It was all party lines before, except in the town. But when it was all buried, all 1+ dialing, all one party service, and it was quite a milestone then. He thought, this is it. It can't get any better. This is it.
In 1976, all exchanges were upgraded to private line service and the plant was buried to become stormproof. Rainbow became the first telephone company to have 100% buried line in the state of Kansas. In 1987, digital switching replaced the mechanical switch.
The first 45 years of the company, we were a telephone provider. That's really about the only service we provided. That started to change, and customers started to change, and technologies changed, and it required us to change as well.
Yeah, it was just on the front end of the internet.
I know when I talked about dial-up modems, I know they got maybe 6 in, and then went to a dozen, and then to 100. And it was slow. I mean, there was no doubt about it.
We almost did it as a, let's see what happens.
And, who really knew at that time where it would take us.
In 2005, Rainbow Telecommunications purchased Carson Communications, a Northeast Kansas cable TV provider.
Our move into Carson Com was when the growth really started to happen.
And basically, we were going into a place where there was competition for the first time. It was such a big challenge because we were bringing 2 companies together. We had to learn the TV side of things, and the Carson Communications employees had to learn the phone side and bring all that together to be able to offer a triple bundle and packaged as one company.
In 2010, Rainbow built out fiber to the home in Bendina, Denton, Severance, Leona, Everest, Huron, Muscoda, Robinson, Whiting, and Willis.
When Google brought fiber into certain areas, it was headlines. And Rainbow took fiber to the home and kind of stayed under the radar, and people are pretty much astounded when they realize that the service we have out here in the country is what they're striving for in some of the bigger cities.
And one thing with your television now, Channel 68, that's a big step, I think, too.
Mustangs that have now scored. Bayless down the lane. Oh, what a shot! Dakota Bayless showing some moves there.
Well, I think basically this company looks to the future very well. And I think it comes down to our core. The core is keeping the patrons' needs on the front line, the top priority, and also the employees of Rainbow just continue to be at the top of their game.
Our vision for the future is we want to be the preferred provider of communications to the areas that we serve. And so our vision is we want to keep growing our services and keep up with technology.
Try to understand where the market is going, to actually get ahead of the curve of what people are wanting.
And we still feel customer service is our key, and being in touch with our customers and our communities and being part of those, that's very important to us. And I think that is a unique thing, and it is one of our values.
Rainbow's mission, even from day one, is to provide the service that the customers require. And as a cooperative, the board's been very active through the years to go, if we don't do it, then who will? So, yes, and we do look at the financial impacts, but it's not the most important thing. There is a belief that if we don't provide the advanced services to rural America, who will?